everyone, and welcome to Case Field on the campus of Case Western Reserve University for this afternoon's Division III college football matchup with Case and Hyrum. Case comes into this game undefeated, 6 wins, no losses. Hyrum comes in with yet a win this season, no wins and 6 losses. And when you start the conversation, Ed, with Case, it starts and finishes with a quarterback named Dan Whalen.
Well, Dan Whalen has started all 4 years here at Case. He's in a senior season, has 24 touchdown passes this year compared to just 3 interceptions, and is building on a great year from last year. Is turning into a fabulous year here in 2009, and it could be a semifinalist and possibly a finalist for the Gagliardi Trophy, the Division III Heisman Trophy. He leads the nation in quarterback rating and leads the nation in completion percentage at quarterback, almost 75% of his passes. So Dan Whalen, fantastic year, and he is the engine that drives that offense.
Now, it wasn't long ago, 4 football seasons ago, that Whalen was a freshman quarterback. Brendan Rehor is a freshman at Hyrum this year, and he will start this afternoon for the Terriers.
He's going to come in and start for the Terriers. He's completing about 50% of his passes, has thrown 4 touchdowns, has run into a couple of issues with some interceptions, has 9 on the season, but overall has made the Terriers competitive in a few games. Last week a 10-7 loss to Earlham, so the Terrier program, which has been down for a while, is now beginning to come back a little bit, and it's going to start with some of the freshmen and underclassmen, including Rehor at quarterback.
So the quarterbacks are one storyline. There are many in this football game this afternoon, including Case. They've won 27 regular season games in a row. They'll go for 28 today. I'm Ron Yance along with Ed Doherty. What a beautiful setting here at 115th Street in Euclid in downtown Cleveland, Case Field. This is in its 5th season, Ed, and as we can see, you get a nice wide shot look of the area. Those are dormitories on the what would be western end of this stadium. 800 rooms for students that attend Case, the undergraduates, and this is in its 5th season, this Case Field, the old field, Finnegan Field, on this same exact site. But what a great setting for a college football Saturday afternoon and a great football program right now in Case.
Well, by far one of the best settings in Division III. There have been some older facilities, including the Case facility, which was a little older. The renovations, the money that the university has put into the athletic program to build this kind of setting and to have teams want to come in here and be impressed by what they see. It also helps with recruiting as they get a chance to show off the facilities to seniors in high school that are looking to continue their education and their football playing days.
Hyrum will kick off. Case won the opening toss, and they elected to move from the southern end of the stadium to the northern end, and the wind is coming directly off the lake today. So if you're the club that's trying to move from north to south in this first half, the wind will definitely come into play. So Hyrum will kick off, and we are ready to start this college football Saturday afternoon. Case will receive it at their own 26-yard line, and Case moves the ball up the field, and they'll be near midfield to start this opening possession of the first half.
That was Brian Metalsitz on the return around. And on the season, Metalsitz averaging just under 20 yards per return. That one was good for a little over 25 yards.
So let's set that Case offense for you as Dan Whalen, the senior quarterback, brings his offensive line off the sideline. Whalen will start at quarterback. Marcus Kluszewski will start at 1 tackle. Tony Opperman will start at a guard. Michael Allen will be the center. On the right side, it'll be Matt Yanasco and Andrew Zajac. Whalen the quarterback, and they immediately hand it off to the left side, and the gain is across midfield into Hyrum territory at the 46-yard line.
That's Brian Metalsitz will take the carry to start the football game, Ron. And he's going to start this afternoon. Tim Cowdrick is out. He's in street clothes. Word is that he is resting just a sore shoulder. And no need to put Cowdrick out there in a game that is a 6-0 versus an 0-6 squad. Cowdrick has been the heart and soul of this offense this year. He bounces up from every tough hit, but Brian Metalsitz will get the start instead of Cowdrick.
Case in a second and short situation. Whalen the quarterback, the All-America. Nice pass out into the right flat to Zach Homick. Homick, a 6'2", 170-pound junior from Chicago, comes down with a reception, and Case is deep now into Hyrum territory.
You have to like the way Dan Whalen is very calm in the pocket, rolls out to his right and finds Zach Homick on the sideline, but Whalen is able to extend the plays with his athleticism and just simply moves the pocket and waits for one of his receivers to find a hole in the defense.
Homick, Colasar, and Nicely are the wide receivers in the 3 wide receiver set for Case right now. Case has outscored their opponents in the first quarter this year, 108-16, Ed. and they are on their way on this opening drive to adding to that total.
Well, offensively this year, they've scored on 5 of their 6 opening possessions this year, 4 touchdowns and a field goal. The only time they didn't score was in the Oberlin game back in September, and that's when Dan Whalen had his only play of that possession, and he fumbled the football. But Case offensively, they get out to big leads, and they like to just put the hammer down on defenses.
Corey Check in the lone back in the backfield for Case right now. He's at the 35. He'll be on the left hip of Whalen, who stands in the shotgun. It's a 2nd and 9 situation for the Spartans. Whalen with pressure, lobs it up in the air. Homick's there at the 10, and nicely knocked away at the very last second. Hyrum on the defense. Mike Brown from Glenville.
Mike Brown did a nice job there on defense. Brown just stayed right with Homick all the way down the sideline and got his hand up at the very last minute. If Homick catches the football, the Spartans have the ball inside the 10-yard line, 1st and goal. Nice play by Mike Brown.
Case this year, once inside the red zone, 87% of the time they score. Whalen will tuck it and run. He's going to get down to the 24, and he will be tackled there at the 24-yard line. So Dan Whalen will be short of that first down for Case. And he landed kind of interestingly there on that tackle. With his right leg and right knee, it was a cautious moment, I would think, for Coach Devilack and that Case coaching staff. And that's one of the things that they want to make sure they get out of today's game, Ed, healthy.
Yeah, stay healthy against the team that's maybe a little lesser competition. And you're right, Ron, it was a little awkward fall for Whalen as he was spun around in the tackle.
So Case will go for it, 4th and 3 from the 24. Whalen to pass, and he's got a receiver, and the receiver is open at the 15-yard line and run out of bounds, and Case will complete that 4th down conversion. Metalsets, Brian Metalsets, who has 2 receptions on this opening drive, completes the 4th down attempt for Case.
Just a little delay off the left side of the formation. Had enough space for Whalen to thread the football in there for the 1st down.
As I mentioned, in the red zone this year, Case is 33 of 38. They have scored 33 of the 38 times they've been inside the red zone. That's either a touchdown or a field goal. 1st and 10 from the 15. The handoff will go to Derek Bush. Bush gets it near the 10-yard line. Now, touchdown-wise, they're also very good. They have scored a touchdown 74% of the time that they've been in the red zone this football season.
And that percentage has grown over the season. They struggled in their opening game against Kenyon. They had 10 trips in the red zone, only had 6 scores overall in that first game against Kenyon, but since then, just been unstoppable.
4 wide receivers set. They flooded 3 to the right. Whalen throws it up and out of bounds past Sean nicely in the right-hand corner of the end zone for Case.
Whalen rolled out and was looking into the corner, and ordinarily Whalen will try to thread the needle on that one. And that time it looked like Whalen just realized he had nothing to do with that play, really had no opening, so threw it out of the end zone, and they'll now look at 3rd down.
Dan Whalen on the season, 24 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions. Corey Check-in and Derek Bush. It's Bush now in the backfield for Case. Handoff to Bush, slips at the 14, and he's down at the 14. It was a 3rd and 6 situation, so Case will now face 4th, and for that, they will bring out Sam Coffey, their place kicker.
Coffey has been an asset to this squad since he arrived on campus 3 years ago. Field goal-wise this year, Coffey 5 of 9. With his long being 37 yards, but to have an accurate kicker at Division III is such a plus, because you can take these situations where you're inside the 20-yard line, but not right near the goal line, and still get 3 points out of it.
31-yard attempt for Sam Coffey in Case. The snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. So Case is on the board, 1 minute and 1 second into this first half of action at Case Field. It's Spartans 3, the Terriers nothing. Sam Coffey will kick it off for Case. The Spartans on the scoreboard here at Case Field, 3-0 early on. Brandon Jackson will be deep for Hyrum to return this kick. And it will be Jackson at the 6-yard line. Crosses the 20, breaks a tackle at the 25, still going at the 30, and finally brought down at the 38-yard line. So a nice return for Hyrum that time. All the way to the 38, and that's where they'll start and set their offense. Cameron Boyd on the tackle for Case. As Ed mentioned in the open, the freshman will start at quarterback for Hyrum, Brendan Rehor, a 5'11", 170-pound freshman out of Bay High School. Rehor on the season, 55% passing, 670 yards. He's thrown 4 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Case will start with 4 down linemen. Rehor with an opening handoff to Chris Austin, and Austin gets it up near midfield at the 45-yard line.
Austin, another product from Glenville High School in Cleveland.
Let's set that Case defense. It's a standard set or a substandard, or not standard set, depending on what kind of defensive coordinator you are, but a 3-5 set, and they'll take 2 of those outside linebackers and float them up near the defensive line of scrimmage, as they do right now. So they've got 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers. Hyrum, Rehor, rolls, throws across the middle, into traffic, and the ball falls incomplete.
That one looked like it just sailed out of Rehor's hand. It was intended for Glenn Campbell in Case territory. It was in a lot of traffic, and Rehor just got under the football, and the ball sailed up on him.
There's a look at Rehor. And an awful lot has been asked of that young man this year as a freshman out of Bay High School to come in and lead this college football program. As you've mentioned, Ed, Hiram struggled, and they've not won many games over the years.
No, in the last 10 seasons, they're just 10-86 overall. They've had 4 seasons in that span where they were 0-10. But there are some freshmen and sophomores coming into the program.
On a 3rd and 3, Austin got the football, needed to get to the 48. He does that plus a few more, gets inside Case territory, and he's run out of bounds at the 45.
And Austin, he's another freshman, and showed some moves to the outside there. Put up a stiff arm and was able to turn the corner.
Derek Sharp runs him out of bounds, a sophomore out of Lakota West. Hyrum this season has 6 losses. They've been outscored 34-7, 45-27, 42-3. Wittenberg beat him 70-7. Denison beat him 44-0. The closest game was a week ago against Earlham. They lost 10-7. Rehor again will stick with Austin in the backfield, and coming up and making a nice tackle that time for Case is the strong side linebacker, Lee Sasala.
Sasala leading the team in tackles at 46 of the season. Did a nice job breaking through a vacated hole in the line and dragged Austin down in the backfield, a loss of 2.
Loss of 2 on the play.
Sasala's at the strong side linebacker. At the weak side, it's Lucas Sasala. And in the middle linebacker spot, it's Jeff Brown. Hyrum sets their offense. 2nd down and 12 for the Terriers, just inside the midfield stripe. A little screened out to Austin. Breaks a tackle at the 45, and forward progress will take him down to about the 41-yard line.
I think if Hyrum has their way today, it's going to be that kind of ball control offense. Their best defense today is having their offense on the field. Keep that Case offense on the sideline, and if they can continue to just simply pick away, the Case defense is going to have to figure out a way to stop that inside passing game and stop the sweeps. Don't look for too much down the field. It's not a team in Hyrum that likes to extend the field, so they're going to have to play in the box and shut this Hyrum offense down.
So 3rd and 7 for the Terriers from the Case 42. That's Rehor in the shotgun. He'll roll right. And he'll offset. He's got a wide receiver open, far sideline. The ball is not caught, and he was out of bounds anyways. So Hyrum will have to punt.
Rehor had to get rid of that ball in a hurry as Lee Sasala had turned the corner and was advancing into the backfield. Sasala just put his shoulder down and put it right into Rehor's gut, and it was enough to throw the timing of that pattern off. So nice play by Lee Sasala, recognizing and advancing into the backfield.
Dan Calabrese will set up for Case at the 10-yard line to return the punt, and into punt for Hyrum will be Derek Rieg. Rieg, a junior out of Brunswick, played at Brunswick High School.
Calabrese averaging about 8 yards per return for the Spartans.
Rieg averages a 33-yard per punt. Punt's blocked.
Billy Deitman with the block for Case.
Deitman with the block. He gets it all the way down to the 35. He blew through that line from the right side, and Rieg had absolutely no option of getting that punt off.
Well, and it was a complete overmatch by the Case special teams. They had 3 and 4 players in there, including Corey Sylvie, Jeff Brown, all there for the Spartans. Deitman was able to get his hands on the football. Case will take over deep in Hyrum territory.
Lucas Sasala recovered for Case, so the Spartans will start 1st and 10 at the Hyrum 35. As you can see, Case up on the board early, 3-0. Opening half here at Case Field on the campus of Case Western Reserve University.
Hyrum showing blitz man-to-man coverage.
Whalen with pressure. Pressure from his right, eludes. Looking for a receiver and finds nicely at the 36-yard line.
Whalen pass.
Sean Nicely, a 5'11", 190-pound junior out of Willoughby South.
Patrick Nicely has advanced on to Akron.
Home with Dan Whalen.
Teammates.
20-yard line.
Whalen, when he was in high school at Willoughby South, in his senior year, threw for 2,554 yards and 27 touchdowns in one high school football season. Nicely was one of his receivers for the Rebels. So Case 1st and 10 at the Hyrum 20-yard line. One back in the backfield, that's Deitman on the right hip of Whalen. Whalen looks right. Now he's going to step up in that pocket with pressure, tuck it and run, and Dan Whalen run out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
That was designed to be a quick hitter to Zach Homick on the near side of the field. Homick slipped as he was coming out of his break, and that forced Whalen to check down. Nothing was open. Whalen took off running, but had Homick not slipped, he probably would have caught that slant inside the 15 and had some running.
Coach Debelak, the head football coach at Case, likes to keep his offense balanced. They've had 214 rushing attempts this year. They've had 212 passing attempts this year. And that's about as perfect of a balance as you can possibly get.
Now the offense is ranked 6th in the country overall.
The handoff goes to Deitman, breaks through a hole at the 15, carried inside the 10, and tackled at the 7. So a first down, it'll move the chains. It'll be 1st and goal for Case at the 7 of Hyrum. Here you go.
You watch that offensive line just come out, and that's Marcus Kluzinski leading the way. Nice pull out by Kluzinski and Opperman. They've been doing that all year. They like to power run the football to the right side, and with that they bring that left guard and left tackle and Kluzinski and Opperman around, and that's two big horses leading the way for Deitman and Meyer and Checken.
That offensive line does not have a senior on it. There is not a senior that starts. Kluzinski's a junior, Opperman's a sophomore, Allen's a sophomore, Janosko's a junior, and Zajac is a junior. Whalen in the shotgun, looks left, now looks over the middle, pass over the middle, ball's tipped and caught for a Case touchdown. Sean Nicely in the right spot at the right time, and the Spartans have scored a touchdown.
Pass was intended for Ryan Colasar, and one of the Hyrum defenders got his hands up, and standing there for the deflection was Sean Nicely.
Nicely on the season with his 6th touchdown reception, and for Dan Whalen, that is his 25th touchdown pass.
Now Whalen is 2nd in the country in touchdown passes coming into the football game. Players at Monmouth College and Kalamazoo College lead the way with 27.
DJ Sutka will snap it. Holding it will be Ryan Colasar. The hold's down. The kick is up by Coffey. And the point after touchdown is good. With 6 minutes and 18 seconds left to play in the first period, it is Case 10, Hyrum nothing. There's a look at Case Field as the Spartans head back onto the field along with the Hyrum Terriers. Case up 10-0 early on in the first here. A $126 million complex, Case Field.
And well worth it, not only academic and athletic-wise. It's also fits very nicely into the neighborhood. It doesn't overpower the neighborhood, and so the surrounding houses to go with the feel of surrounding houses. The dormitories have that same feel. And Case has been able to use this both on the academic and athletic side for recruiting and bringing in students, showing off what a great renovation.
There's Coffey re-teeing it. As we said, the wind is blowing quite strongly here from the southern end of the stadium into the northern end. And now it will be teed and held as Coffey will kick it off. Coffey, with the wind at his back, can certainly kick it into the end zone.
And we were talking about the advantages of having a solid place kicker in Division III. Anytime you can consistently have your opponents look at an 80 or 85-yard field, that only helps your defense.
Ball is fielded by Hyrum at the 3. Run out across the 20 and down inside the 30 at the 26-yard line. That's where the Terriers will start their second offensive possession of the afternoon. Stephen Johnson with the return for Hyrum. Hyrum 0-6, Case 6-0. The Spartans have won 27 regular season games in a row. They'll look for 28 this afternoon here at Case Field. Brendan Rehor, the freshman, now under center. Spent most of the first offensive possession in the shotgun, and breaking through the line that time and coming up with a tackle is Dale English. English was in the backfield, Ed, before the handoff happened.
Well, English found a gap and just shot himself through it. It was right there, was almost ready to take. Actually, that's Jeff Brown coming through from his linebacker position. Brown was there for the handoff, and And Hyrum was lucky they didn't have a turnover on the play. So Jeff Brown coming on a blitz found a hole in that Hyrum offensive line and shot right through it.
Brown, the senior out of North Olmsted High School, a civil engineering major. Had his helmet off during warm-ups. He's got the flag shaved into his head with stripes and stars. It's a thing of beauty.
Now Jeff Brown is the resident barber for this team. Brown has the ability to cut some hair in unique patterns.
And he's in on this tackle as well. A little shovel pass there from Rehor. And Jeff Brown from that Mike linebacker spot. 2 tackles in a row. So it's a 3rd and 13 situation. Call it 14 from the 22 for Hiram. Hirum's first offensive possession ended up in a blocked punt that gave Case great field position that they turned into a touchdown. And the Spartans are up 10-0. Rehor in the shotgun. 3 wide receiver set. Rehor straight back. Pass intercepted. Intercepted by Case. Brad Paramore. Paramore returns to the 15, and he'll walk into the end zone for a touchdown.
Give Lisa Sala credit with a great block that sprung Paramore around the 15-yard line. Case has now extended their lead, but reaction by Paramore and a great block. You'll see it here on the replay. After Paramore makes the interception, Lisa Sala with a great block out in front. And that sprung Paramore into the end zone.
Well, he had 4 or 5 teammates out there to block for him. He walked in untouched. So Brad Paramore, we'll call it about a 35-yard interception return for a touchdown. The point after touchdown is up, and it is also good. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left to play here. Case up 17-0. You're watching Division III college football on Sports Time Ohio, and here's a look at that Paramore interception and return for the touchdown.
Need a timeout? Time on line to put your feet up. Why not hit the road? Enjoy your relaxing getaway here at Continental Hotel Cleveland. Call today and ask about the Get Your Motor Running Getaway Package, starting only $149 per night.
Ed, this is exactly what Case wanted to do, not exactly what Hiram had hoped for.
Well, you talked about Hyrum. They like to run the football at best. They're just not into the passing game yet offensively, and Rehor has had some problems with the interceptions this season. That's his 10th interception, and Case has done it on special teams, and they forced Hiram into a 3rd and long in that situation defensively, and everything that could go wrong for Hiram so far has. The Case offense has taken over deep in their own territory and put some points on the board. The special teams has come up with a big play, and for the Spartans now, the defense has come up with a great play as well.
The first quarter has been a special quarter for Case this year. They have outscored their opponents 108-16, and if you add the 17 that they've got today, that's 125-16. Case has outscored their opponents, which actually leads to a somewhat of a problem for Case. We'll talk about that in a moment as Hiram returns the kickoff, and the Terriers are tackled by the Spartans at the 26-yard line. The problem, Ed, that the Case coaching staff has with that is when you have such a significant lead early in the game, your starters are out of the game at halftime at the earliest and at the very first possession of the second half at the very latest. So there have been only 2 games this season where this Case starting unit has actually played an entire game, and I think there were only 3 last year in 11 games where the starting unit got to play a full game.
The Kenyon game was the first one, and that was simply because of some mistakes, and the only real competitive game they've had, and that was against Worcester, that they wore down in the 4th quarter because of the experience of that team.
Austin with a run for Hiram on a first down. He'll pick up 6, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 4. So that begs the question what they'll do today. It's 17-0. We're 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the opening period. You still have a second quarter to play before we reach halftime. What I think you'll see is this starting unit for Case, both defensively and offensively, stay into the game for that opening series of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Greg Devil likes to have his team in at least till halftime. You'll probably see them come out in the 3rd quarter with just 1 offensive set.
Trouble in the backfield between Rehor and Austin. And the handoff does not happen. Rehor tucks it and runs, and he'll be tackled for a loss.
Now it looks like Rehor was thinking that Austin would take it. Austin went with the play fake, and that left Rehor standing in the backfield, not sure what to do.
Jeff Brown on the tackle. There you see the miscommunication with the handoff, and here comes Brown. Jeff Brown, 37 tackles total coming into today's game.
Has 3 so far this afternoon. He's made 3 of the last 4 tackles for Case.
Well, their linebackers make a lot of tackles, the way that this defense is set up. Dale English makes a lot from his defensive end spot as well. So it's a 3rd and 6 situation for Hyrum. Pass out in the left flat, in and out of the hands of Mike Giuliano, and the ball falls incomplete, and the Terriers will punt.
Yeah, Derek Sharp was on coverage. Sharp actually looked like he wanted to come around. Giuliano for the interception, missed the football, and it hit Giuliano in the hands and couldn't maintain it.
Setting up to receive the punt for Case will be Dan Calabrese. Calabrese will stand at the 40-yard line, and set to punt for Hyrum will be Derek Reed. Reed's last punt was blocked, and this one's blocked as well, and this one will go in for a touchdown? No. Touchback. Billy Deitman got in there to pick it up. I believe Lisa Sala blocked it.
Well, that has to be 1 or 2. It either has to be a safety or a touchdown. I don't know if it can be a touchback. Case never had possession of the football.
Ball snaps in. That's Sala with the block. Deitman's going to come into the picture as Lee tries to get a hold of that football and doesn't quite. Deitman recovers, and it will be a safety. So they will award Case 2 points.
Deitman had possession, but he was out of the back of the end zone, so the ball at that point is technically out of the back of the end zone. It should go to Case, and it does. 2 points to the Spartans.
So punting has been a problem for Hyrum so far.
Well, I noticed on the way they were set up there, Reed was only 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Most punters will step back 14 or 15, Ron. And then when he walks up to the line, he's now right in the face of the Case rushers. And a bad snap or a high step, anything to throw the timing off, and all of a sudden you're staring down some blue shirts, and that's exactly what happened here.
Well, they've had 2 bad snaps. They've had 2 short snaps. So if he's setting up 12 to 14 yards away from the long snapper, it's still not arriving there on time or on the fly, and it has turned into 9 unanswered points for Case. The last time the punt was blocked, Case went in for a touchdown. This time they had a chance at a second touchdown. Couldn't quite handle the football, and it goes in for a safety. So it's 19-0 Case. 3 minutes still left to play here in this opening period at Case Field.
The defense has also scored today for the Spartans. So offensively, they haven't had to do much in order to get a 19-point lead. The wind's still a problem here, Ron, as they'll have to put the ball back on the tee.
Pat Majornick will kick it off for Hyrum. Back to receive for Case is Nicely, along with Brian Metalsets. So Nicely and Metalsets set up inside the 30. Kick lands at about midfield. Metalsets can't handle it. Nicely picks it up at the 34, immediately hits, spins out of that, and then brought down inside the 35-yard line. That's where Case will start their next offensive possession. Getting down there on special teams for Hyrum was Brandon Jackson.
Tackled by Henry and Gallagher.
Along with Sam Gallagher.
On their own 34-yard line.
See Dan Whalen back on the field, Ron. First time we've seen him out in 2 possessions. The last one, Case started at the 35-yard line of Hyrum.
Case will start this one at the 34, up 19-0. This Case offense has been very good so far. Whalen's thrown for 46 yards. They've rushed for 28. Whalen to throw again. Pocket breaks down, steps up, a little shovel pass, beauty. A beauty to Greg Meyer. Meyer crosses midfield, and he is gone. Down the sideline, caught at the 4, and knocked out of bounds. A touchdown-saving tackle for Hyrum, that time by Tim Isaac. Isaac with a great job to come across the field to get to Greg Meyer, as Meyer was ready to tiptoe it into the end zone.
I wonder if Meyer slowed down a little bit, but a couple of great blocks downfield after Whalen recognizes he's in trouble, flips the ball ahead. It's caught by Meyer out of the backfield, and then downfield the wide receivers with a couple of good blocks. And here goes Meyer headed to the end zone, and it just looks like his legs are ready to go, and here comes Isaac to get him inside the 5.
I think Greg slowed down a little bit. Maybe some more wind sprints are in order for young Greg Meyer. Whalen, fake, left, rolls right, steps up, wide open. Touchdown Case. Nicely with a touchdown for the Spartans. Sean Nicely with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And it's 25-0 Case.
Whalen had his pick. Golisar was wide open under the goalpost as well. It was designed to be a little delay to DJ Sutka coming off the tight end position as a block, and then a little delay to Sutka, who's supposed to roll out in the flat. Whalen instead found 2 open receivers in the end zone, and he had his pick, and he hit nicely. 7th touchdown of the season.
Coffey steps up and kicks into his 3rd point after touchdown of the afternoon. And it is 26-0 Case over Hyrum. The Spartans well on their way to their 28th consecutive regular season win, and I hesitate to say that with still in the first period of play, 2 minutes and 19 seconds left. But with the way that Case has played this football season and the direction that the season has gone for Hyrum, it would take quite a series of events for Hyrum to come out of here this afternoon, I think, Ed, with a victory.
Now, sometimes for young teams, losing is not easy, and for Hyrum, they're taking their lumps, but they have a lot of young players on this team, and hoping that Bob Wolf, coming in as the head coach, can begin to turn it around. But the Spartans just look like a juggernaut, and they look like the 10th best team in the country.
Coffey, another nice high kickoff. Hyrum will return it from their 4. Across the 20, and at the 24-yard line, Tim Isaac with the return for Hyrum. And that's where the Terriers will start their next offensive possession.
Well, the Hyrum team, Ron, they're averaging just over 8 points per game on the season. Offensively, they are ranked 221st out of 235 teams in the country. So it's not built to come from behind, and we've seen that as some of the scores indicate.
Rehor at quarterback for Hyrum. Little pass across the middle at the 26-yard line, and forward progress up to the, well, they'll mark him at the 26. It started to rain here a little bit at Case Field. Glenn Campbell on the reception for the Terriers that time. With the wind and a crossing rain, it's a light rain right now. What started out to be a nice afternoon could turn into a not so nice one by the time this football game reaches halftime. It was a horrible day yesterday in Northeastern Ohio. It poured most of the day. Most of the high school games on Friday night were mud bowls.
It's the 6th time in 9 weeks that we've had rain on a Friday night coming into a Saturday college football game, and today was about a 50-50 chance.
2nd and 8. Hyrum stays on the ground as they like to. It's Luke Lewis from his fullback spot. Lewis on the season, 86 yards rushing, the junior out of Fremont St. Joseph High School.
He's their power back. He's their fullback. He, short yardage-wise, averaging just under 3 yards per carry.
One thing that has hurt Hyrum this year is turnovers on offense. They have turned the ball over 14 times in 6 games.
Plus the 1 today and the 2 blocked punts.
Quick hitter, Kyle Caleri with it, and across the 40-yard line for Hyrum, so the Terriers will move the chains.
Just again, that 3-step drop, little quick hitch to the outside. Caleri splits the defense and picks up another 7 or 8 yards after the catch.
Caleri, a freshman out of Highland High School in Medina. So you've got a freshman at quarterback, you've got a freshman in the backfield in Chris Austin, and a freshman at wideout in Kyle Caleri.
Up front, they're seniors and juniors on the offensive line. And it's a big offensive line around. They average 270 pounds per man up front.
They go 275, 275, 295. Tyler Barnhart, the center. And being run near that Hyrum sideline is Chris Austin on the carry. Austin, a 180-pound freshman, another freshman. Austin out of Glenville.
Glad to see Bobby Bott back on the field, the All-American for Case. Bott strung this play out and was able to run down Austin as he turned the corner. Bott had missed a few games this season with an injury. And glad to see Bobby Bott back on the field for Case.
Well, Bobby's battling a neck injury, and he's missed 2 games in a row. And you're right, this is the first one back. I'll watch him carefully today. The first quarter is over. It is 26-0 Case over Hyrum after 1 quarter. Ron Jansa, Doherty along with you from Case Field. Ed, you were talking about Bobby Bott, who's the starting cornerback for Case as we went to break after 1 quarter of play. And Bott was an All-American a year ago, 7 interceptions. Doing a great job again this year for Case. Rehor to throw in the pocket near the Hyrum sideline. It's caught inside the 50 and tackled at the 47-yard line. So Hyrum's going to pick up about 4. They needed 12.
A nice play fake by Rehor. Defense froze for just a bit, opened up the passing lane. But Mike Peliak was there, and Peliak just held onto the ankle, wouldn't let him go. And Case closed it out. Zach Haas on top of the pile for the Spartans to prevent Hyrum from picking up the first down.
So the Terriers will send out 3 receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 back in the backfield. The handoff will go to Austin in the backfield. He needs about 4, and he's going to get 6. So Chris Austin will pick up a much-needed first down for Hyrum. Hyrum with only 2 first downs in this football game.
Really, in the first quarter, Case amassed 140 yards in offense. Hyrum had just 37 yards in offense in the first quarter. And a couple of mistakes we talked about. And that's really what's put Hyrum in the hole this year, is they've made some mistakes, and the teams they have played have capitalized on it. And Case truly took advantage of that in the first quarter. The 2 blocked punts led to 9 points. Then the interception led to another 7.
And that's 16 of the 26. Whistle on the field. Hyrum has called a timeout. You get a look at that Case sideline. There's Bott, number 20. And there's the haircut of our middle linebacker that we've been talking about. 36. If we can zoom in closer on Jeff Brown's head as they break that huddle. He's putting his helmet on now. Maybe we'll get a shot later in the game. But Team Barber. I don't know if he did his own hair or not, but it looks good. We noticed it on the sideline pregame. It has the stripes of the flag and the stars of the flag.
Yeah, some kids will accent their outfits with ties under their suits. For Jeff Brown, it's the style of his haircut.
On a 1st and 10 from the 44, Hyrum meets the Case defense in the backfield. And Chris Austin goes nowhere.
Yeah, Rich Doolin in there. And Doolin and May and English up front for the Case Spartans defensively have really put the pressure on opposing offenses. Combined, they have nearly 20 tackle for losses and 80 overall tackles between the 3 of them. So just an impressive year for that front 3 on the Case defense.
And English himself, the sophomore out of Holy Name High School, he has 11.5 tackles for loss by himself and 4.5 sacks. 2nd down and 13. Rehor in the backfield. Handoff to Austin, and he's got nowhere to go. Austin comes all the way far side of the field near that Hyrum bench, and he is tackled and run out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So give him some credit. He was all the way back into Hyrum territory at the 40-yard line.
Well, Case was looking run. They had 4 down linemen plus 2 linebackers, and Austin had to reverse his field as he ran into the sea of blue and probably ran close to 60 yards to pick up 6 for Hyrum.
Well, he got 20. He ran 20 yards to pick up 6, that's for sure. So it's a 3rd down and 4 situation for Hyrum at the Case 38. This has been all Spartans. Just underway here in the 2nd quarter. Pass is incomplete, and the Terriers will have to punt it.
It was intended for Luke Lewis. Rehor just let him too much out in the sideline. And the question of whether or not, even if Lewis came up with the football, whether or not he'd be able to get the first down. Case did a nice job of pursuing out to the short side of the field. Force the 4th down as Hyrum is now just 3 of 7 on 3rd downs.
Dan Calabrese is going to head back and set to return the punt for Case. He'll stand at his own 10-yard line.
This has been an adventure all afternoon.
2 punts have been blocked. This snap gets back to Derek Grieg, the punter, and the punt is off for the first time this afternoon for Hyrum. Calabrese receives it as 7, and he moves forward up to the 15-yard line. That's where the Spartans will start their next offensive possession.
Tackle by Zaleski.
Tim Glodowski on the tackle for Hyrum.
You have to question on Calabrese. He put his heels on the 10-yard line like most punt returners do, but he drifted back and fielded the ball inside his 10. Question about whether or not he should have let that ball go, maybe go into the end zone. Case take over at the 20-yard line. Instead, he chose to return it and got it out to just the 15.
Colasar nicely, and Homick will come out in the wide receiver set for Case. And the handoff goes to Metalsets. Metalsets crosses the 15, run out of bounds at the 20. He'll pick up 5. Metalsets getting a lot of playing time this afternoon as Tim Cowdrick will rest. Cowdrick, a senior out of Menor, leads Case with 533 reception yards and 8 touchdowns. So he's somebody that they certainly miss, but they felt today against Hyrum they could rest him, get him ready for the 3 University Athletic Association games that Case has left to play.
Well, and Brian Webster, the 6th wide receiver on the squad, also in street clothes.
Whalen will roll and throw, tries to get it to Metalsets at the 30, and the ball's a little short. So it'll be a 3rd down set for Case from the 20, 3rd and 5.
Case today just 0 of 2 on 3rd downs.
Well, on the season, 3rd down efficiency has been almost 50% for Case. They're 33 of 69 going into this football game. That's 48% on 3rd down efficiency. And that's what they face now, 3rd and 5 from the 20. Whalen again from the shotgun. Looks left, goes over the middle, ball in and out of the hands of Derek Bush, and it falls incomplete. So for the first time today, Case will punt.
Well, and Bush had to stop right at the 35. It was right at the sticks, and Whalen fired a laser at him that he couldn't come up with. Whalen's showing his arm.
And Whalen will stay on the field, Ed, because he also serves as the Case punter, he and Josh Murphy.
Whalen averaging 45 yards a kick, Ron. Coming into the game, if Whalen had enough kicks to qualify, he'd actually be 2nd in the country in punting.
Dan Whalen, the 6'1 senior out of Willoughby South High School. Standing at his 6, he'll punt it from his 6. And the fair catch has been called for, but Hyrum couldn't get to it, and the ball is down at the 45-yard line. That's where the Terriers will start it. Matt Wilson was back there to receive it for Hyrum, but the ball got up into that wind. You said out of the southern end of the stadium, the wind is really whipping across, and it got up into that wind and stood it up and dropped it at the 45. So Hyrum with good field position, though, Ed.
Start with it. Give Whalen credit. That's a 35-yard kick into a 20-mile-an-hour breeze. And Whalen shows that his skills are more than just under center. Whalen, we mentioned it, last week was actually leading the country in punting average and had the opportunity. Did he have enough kicks? Would qualify. Now he's 2nd in the country in punting.
Looked like some movement early for Hyrum. Both the quarterback and the tailback both pulled out. Rehor pulled a little early. And in the backfield, the running backs got going a little early as well, so that'll be a motion penalty. They'll back them up 5. It'll be a 1st and 15.
Now look at Rehor, possibly Glenn Campbell out here on the outside. But in reality, Ron, that probably was the center who was a beat slow, Andy Horvath.
So Hyrum will break the huddle with some definite work to do. 11 minutes, 40 seconds left to play, opening half here at Case Field. And the Terriers are down big, 26-0. The handoff goes to Chris Austin, and Austin gets maybe a yard or 2. Coming into this game, this Hyrum offense had 538 yards rushing total on the season. You see Austin here in the replay. That Case defense just swarms and does a great job. Adam Watson, the freshman out of Menor, with a tackle.
That Case defense, 17th best defense in the country. And they're 34th against the run. They give up just 88 yards a game on the ground.
Austin, the lone back in the backfield. Rehor will get pressure, and he's just going to throw it out of bounds into the Case bench.
Now that's allowed. Rehor got outside the tackle box and got the ball back past the line of scrimmage. So no intentional grounding, even though there was no Terrier in the area. Rehor, realizing where he was at, did get outside the tackle and was able to throw the ball away.
Case on the season per game is allowing only 88 yards defensively rushing and and Hyrum, near half, has 31 yards rushing. So that Case defense has certainly been stingy, allowing less than 100 yards rushing per game.
Well, they only give up 170 yards through the air, too, Ron, and Hyrum ineffective passing the football today, too, only 29 yards passing.
Case will rush 3 down linemen. Rehor with pressure, rolls, throws near that Hyrum bench. Try to get it to his wideout, Glenn Campbell, right in front of his teammates. Ball tips off his hands, goes out of bounds, and Hyrum will waste an opportunity with great field position. They'll have to punt.
Yeah, we talked to Jeff Brown a couple of weeks ago, had a chance to talk to him, and Brown says defensively, that unit, they don't like to give up points. They don't like to give up big plays. They don't even like to give up first downs.
Snaps back, that's good. Punts off, and Calabrese will settle under it at the 7-yard line. He'll return it from the 7. Dan Calabrese with a nice block at the 20. And he's tackled at the 27. And that's where Case will start their next possession. Tim Isaac has been active this afternoon for Hyrum. Isaac in on that tackle. Starters will come back on the field for Case. Of course, on the offensive line, that's Marcus Kluzinski, a 6'4", 240-pound junior, the left tackle. At the right tackle, it's Andrew Zajac, 6'2", 230-pound junior from Downers Grove North High School in Illinois. Whalen with the handoff. Handoff goes to Meyer. And Greg Meyer gets across the line of scrimmage, maybe gets a yard. Let's set the rest of that offensive line, Ed, because it's done such a great job for Whalen and those backs this year. The 2 guards are Tony Opperman, a 6'2", 240-pound sophomore from Pickerington down near Columbus. Matt Yanasco's the other guard, 6'4", 300-pound junior from St. Ignatius High School. And leading the way at center, breaking the huddle for Case, is Michael Allen, 5'11", 250-pound sophomore from McMurray, Pennsylvania, Peters Township High School.
If you can notice on Allen's left hand, it's heavily taped, and it's been that way all season.
Whalen gets pressure, steps up in the pocket, tucks and runs, and is tackled at the 34-yard line.
And you would think that if your center plays most of the season with his hand wrapped in a cast or heavily taped, you'd have a lot of problems, but the exchanges between Allen and Whalen have been fantastic, and Whalen's been able to put up huge numbers.
Third down and 4 for Case, a 2 wide receiver. Check that 4 wide receiver set, 2 tight, 2 split wide to the right and left. Little dump pass out in the flat. Ball goes to Greg Meyer. He's across the 40, across midfield, looking for a block from Nicely. Gets it, spins at the 35, and run out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Well, if you see that play again, Case did a nice job of setting that play up for Meyer as they ran everybody to the right side of the field, and Whalen just lobbed the pass out of the flat to Meyer, and again, wide open in front of him, and took it off down the sideline. Meyer did a nice job of getting away from a tackle, picked up an extra 10 yards as he broke away from Brandon Jackson in the defensive secondary.
Case will not huddle, as they do often. Whalen looks to the sideline for the next call. 2 receivers to his right. Handoff in the backfield to Deitman. And Billy Deitman crosses the 30, he's tackled at the 27-yard line.
Tackled by Kazwa.
Whalen on the season, a 73% passing. Coming into today's game, he has attempted 193 passes, has completed 141 of them. And he leads the nation, Ed, in passing efficiency.
Yeah, quarterback rating is 198 and change, and that actually is good not only for leading all of Division III, but he leads all of college football. That goes up to Division I and 1A.
Homick and Nicely split wide to the left. Whalen looks to the left. He's got Homick at the 8, and the ball is tipped, and it falls incomplete. Nice defensive play that time by Hyrum.
And Tim Isaac had his hand up. Isaac just on the underneath coverage, knew he had some help over the top, so with that, as the ball was coming, Isaac took a chance on the football and knocked it away. Brandon Jackson came across and had the backside coverage, and with that, Isaac was able to play the football rather than play the man.
You look at the numbers, Isaac 5'6", 160 pounds, playing corner. That's tough work at 5'6".
Well, he's not really matched up against another 5'6" or 5'7" wideout either.
Zach Homick's 6'2", so he's given up half a foot. Whalen again looking left, now across the middle, pressure. He's going to step up, throw it back across the field. Colasar's got it at the 10, and he's tackled at the 9.
Colasar just sat down in a hole in that Hyrum defense, and Hyrum reacted to Homick over the middle, who was open. Whalen waved him off, and Colasar sat down near the 10-yard line and was wide open.
That's a hard pass to make. Running to your right, throwing it across your body back to the middle of the field.
And we've seen Whalen do that all 4 years he's been here at Case. He just has that belief in his arm strength.
3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right for Whalen. At the 10, looking left, throwing over the middle, and it's a touchdown to guess who? Sean Nicely. No, incomplete.
Oh, Nicely took a big hit in the end zone. They're going to say he dropped the football, and he couldn't come up with it.
He took a big hit, and from our angle, we could not see the ball pop loose. Here's the replay, Nicely with it. And still from that angle, you can't see it pop loose. But obviously, the back judge was standing right there.
Yeah, it was laying underneath him as he went down, but.
And it's an incomplete pass. So 2nd and 10 for Case from the 10. Same set, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, 1 in the backfield at Whalen's hip. Handoff goes to Derek Bush, and Bush crosses the 10, gets down to the 6.
Case has just multiple options to pick from running the football between Greg Meyer and Bill Deitman and Derek Bush, and your short yardage back is Corey Checken. Checken has 6 touchdowns on the season. It's just wave after wave, and we talked about how Case could go 6 deep at wide receiver, 4 deep in the backfield.
3rd and goal from Case from about the 6-yard line. Whalen in the shotgun. Case up 26-0. Whalen looking right. Now he's going to go left, spins back, looks right again. He's in trouble at the 20. Runs out of trouble, approaches the 10, throws across the body, back of the end zone to Homick, and off the fingertips of Zach Homick, it falls incomplete.
You see that 2, 3, 4 times a game from Dan Whalen. His ability just to extend the play and see the field, the vision to be able to quickly make decisions when things break down. Whalen will look to his right, look to his left. Now want to come all the way back to his left. Nothing there. Spin all the way around to his right. Stop, look, keep going to the outside. Play is still alive, waiting for a receiver to cut open, and just wasn't able to connect to the back of the end zone.
Well, it was that matchup, 6'2" Homick against the 5'6" Tim Isaac, that gave Case a chance at a touchdown there. So Coffey comes in for a field goal. It will be a 25-yard attempt. They mark it at the 14. It's a 24-yard attempt. It's up and it's good. Welcome back to Case Field, where the Spartans are on their way to their 7th win of the regular season here in 2009, and it will mark their 28th consecutive victory that stretches back to, Ed, week 9 of the 2006 season.
It was a loss at Grove City.
40-33 was the final at Grove City. The last loss in week 9 of the 2006 regular season. Case won in week 10, and they won 10 straight in 2007. Won 1 playoff game, then lost their 2nd round game, and then started the 2008 season and won 10 more in a row. So they went into this season, Ed, with a 21-game regular season win streak. University Athletic Association Conference champions in 2007 and 2008. Made the national playoffs both seasons. Made it to the 2nd round in 07. Lost to the heartbreaker to Wabash here in 2008. And are on their way to a 3rd straight postseason appearance this year. Case coming into today ranked 9th in the country. That's the highest they've been ranked in their history. They have been ranked 9 before, but no higher than number 9.
Division III, the juggernaut continues to be that team in Alliance. Mount Union holds down the number 1 spot, and University of Wisconsin at Whitewater is number 2. So 2 formidable teams at the top of that poll. And when you start thinking that Case Western is now within the sights of those kinds of programs, that says a lot about what Greg Debelak and his staff have been able to do here in Case.
Well, they've got an outstanding senior class, of course, led by Whalen. We talked a lot about him, but there are many other student athletes in that senior class that have really made a difference in the Case program, and the fact that they're at a place right now where you can mention them, in the top 10 with a Mountain Union. Hyrum with the football. Terriers with lots of work to do. Lee Sham caught it on that far sideline by that Hyrum bench. They're going to pick up 7, so it'll be a 2nd and 3 situation. It is 29-0 as Coffee added a 24-yard field goal just before the last break. Rehor again in the shotgun. Handoff in the backfield to Chris Austin as they've tried all day long to get Austin involved in this football game, but that Case front 3, sometimes front 4, just keeps denying it. Richard Doolin, Jake May, Dale English, and then those 5 linebackers coming up, just making hit after hit, including that time Jeff Brown.
Well, and Jeff Brown just seems to find that gap as the offensive line for Hyrum wants to run that little trap block or cross block, and as they vacate a space, here comes Brown right in between, and he's there waiting for the handoff, and is able to really shut down this Hyrum offense.
3 down linemen, 4 backers. Here comes the rush. Rehor with a pass on 3rd and 5. They're going to get it to the 39, which will be with the mark, enough for a Hyrum first down.
Is the ball loose? The way they were piling up there, Ron, you'd think that there might be a fumble on that play.
And there was a fumble. Case is recovered. Coming out of the stack that time for Case, not sure if he's the one that recovered it, but he's the last one out, Mike Pelyak. We'll get a replay look and probably a better angle on it. So the completion for a first down, nice hit, and then guess who? Guess who ripped that ball away? Jeff Brown, the young man we've been calling all afternoon. And then Pelyak, I believe, was down at the bottom of that pile, Brown's defensive teammate, and he comes up with the loose ball, and Case has it inside Hyrum at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, the receiver wasn't down. He was laying on a Case player, and Brown just ripped the football loose.
So Whalen rolls left, throws down the middle of the field, deep pass. It's Colasar with it at the 2, falls into the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Case.
Boy, that's what Case's MO has been all year. They get a turnover, and they like to go for the juggernaut, and you see it there. Dan Whalen wasting no time going deep down the middle. Nice play fake set up. Had enough time for Colasar to break into the clear and just lobbed a perfect pass down to Colasar at the goal line.
48-yard pass into the teeth of the wind here at Case Field. And another touchdown for the Spartans.
And for Colasar, that's his 2nd touchdown. That's his long reception of the year. He had one against Oberlin that went for 39 yards. Colasar sometimes is the forgotten man in that 4 wide receiver set.
Coffey's kick is blocked.
That ball's still alive.
So Hyrum blocks the point after touchdown. Case leads 35-0 with 5 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in this opening half.
It looked like Tim Isaac might have got in there and got a hand on it, coming off the right wing.
Well, Isaac certainly is the player that we've mentioned a lot today. It's homecoming here today at Case Field. Part of the festivities, they'll have the homecoming court at halftime. Case has a lot of recruits here today, a lot of big-time recruits, and over the last 4 years with the success of this senior class, you know, they have not only done well for themselves on the field, record-wise, statistic-wise, Case football history-wise, but they've also done very well for themselves off the field along the high school set in northeastern Ohio, because they are getting some big-time recruits now coming to Case to play football. You know, one of the interesting things about this staff, Ed, is every full-time member of the coaching staff at Case is from northeastern Ohio. Coach Debelak went to Menor High School. All of his assistants are from northeastern Ohio schools. They have spent their entire life here. And, you know, that's a refreshing and a secure thing for parents to know when they're sending their children to Case, that the coaches know the area. They know the coaches in the area, they know the teams in the area, they know what the area is about, and it certainly is an asset, I think, for this Case coaching staff in the recruiting rooms in Division III.
And Greg Debelak has quite a pipeline going, especially out to the east. The kids he's drawing out of Lake County, a very impressive list.
Hyrum will receive the kickoff, and they'll down it at the 25-yard line. Andrew Devon picked up the low line kickoff from Coffey. And the Terriers will start at their own 25-yard line, down 35-0.
Well, and the stat sheet reflects what the scoreboard does as well, Ron. Through a quarter and a half, Case with 250 yards in total offense on 28 plays. Hyrum has just 71 yards in offense on 27 plays.
Case came into this football game averaging 44 points per contest. They've got 35 as Hyrum tries to get something going offensively. Quick pass from Rehor out to Glenn Campbell. Campbell's going to pick up about 7 or 8 yards. Campbell from Bookville High School leads this team in receptions with 29 for 283 yards. That leads the team as well, and he has scored 4 touchdowns, also leading the team.
Glenn Campbell is Mr. Everything for Hyrum. He's also rushed for 57 yards, and he's played a little bit of quarterback. He's thrown for 97.
Handoff to the first back through. It's the fullback. And it's a first down for Case up to the, or first down for Hyrum up to the Case 40. John Pinto, or Luke Lewis. 2 fullbacks, Luke Lewis and John Pinto. That one was Lewis with the carry.
First and 10 for Hyrum. Ball is on Hyrum, 41-yard line.
If you look at the schedules of these two teams and you look for some similarities, Case has Carnegie Mellon coming up on November 7th. Hyrum played Carnegie Mellon and lost 42-3 in week 4. Chris Austin in the backfield, and Chris has had a hard time today. He has had a hard time getting going. Dale English does a nice job breaking through that offensive line.
English just used his hands very well, got rid of the offensive lineman, threw him aside, and was waiting for Austin as he tried to turn the corner.
Adam Watson was also in there. Watson actually had first contact, and then English came in and finished the job. Watson, another player out of Mentor High School. He's back seeing action today, Ed, for the first time in about 3 weeks. He's been out with a knee injury. So it's good to see Adam Watson back if you're a Case Spartan football fan. Second down and 13. Rehor with a lot of work to do, throws an interception. It's picked off at the 38-yard line for Case, and picking it off for the Spartans with his second interception of the afternoon, Brad Paramore.
Well, for Case, that's their 3rd defensive turnover today. Paramore, nice break. Ball was overthrown, but showed good hands, protected the football as he went down to the turf. Nice job by Brad Paramore to come up with that interception.
Well, that was just a great athletic move by Paramore that time. 6 foot, 196-pound senior out of Garfield Heights High School. Had to really lay out like an outfielder going for a ball in the gap. Brought that one down, and his second interception of the afternoon. The first one went for a touchdown.
And for Case, now a +8 on their defensive count for turnover ratio. And the offense for Hyrum continues to struggle. They're now -7.
Case came into the game with 9 interceptions. They now have 11. Quick pass out into the left flat. Greg Meyer with it. In 6 games this year, at Case's total offense is at 3,000 yards. So coming into this football game today, they had 3,000 yards in total offense. Actually, just a little bit less than that, but we'll call it 3,000.
Yeah, about 492 yards per game. 44 points a game. That's good for 4th in the country.
Well, they had 112 yards passing in the first quarter today, so they're well on their way to that over 400-yard total offense today. Inside 3 minutes to play now in this first half.
First look at Corey Checken, the big fullback / running back for Case. What's most impressive about Corey Checken when he's in the backfield, he will get back to the line of scrimmage. He's a 4-year player here at Case, and only 7 times in his career has he been stopped in the backfield.
Checken, a chemical engineering major at Case, senior out of Georgetown, Pennsylvania. Played at Southside Area High School.
Started at Ohio University as a wrestler.
Checken with the football inside the 20, still going, and he's tackled at the 17-yard line. Corey Checken is money once inside the red zone for Case. He led this football team a year ago with 8 touchdowns. And this year he leads them with 6 touchdowns. There's a good look at Corey Checken. You can tell he's a wrestler. Checking will check out. Derek Bush will come in. Bush, the other fullback in this backfield for Case. Bush gets the handoff, cuts inside off left tackle, breaks a tackle at the 10, crosses the 5, spins out of it, and almost goes in for a touchdown. Derek Bush with an outstanding run from scrimmage.
Just a long stretch play. It took a while for Whalen to get there, but once Bush hit the line of scrimmage, he was wide open. Couple of moves in the secondary, stiff arm, then a spin move, and he's down inside the 5-yard line.
Derek Bush picks up 17 on that carry, so Case will check in first and goal at their 2.
The jumbo package in the backfield now.
Whalen is under center, 3 backs in the backfield. It's Meyer, Bush, and Checkin. Handoff goes to Corey Checkin. Stood up, keeps fighting, keeps churning those legs, and he is tackled at about the half-yard line.
And Corey Checkin will move the pile, and he will move it forward. And you saw there, if he gets his momentum going, and the way Checkin runs with his shoulder pads over his knees, very hard to get down underneath him to bring him down. And Corey Checkin is just a thunder when he hits the line of scrimmage.
He stands 5'8", he weighs 200 pounds. 5'8", 200 pounds, that's all you need to say. Whalen under center. Whalen will fake to Checkin. He's going to keep it and roll to his left, and he walks in for a touchdown. So they set it up with the run to Checkin. Got the defense to bite on the second attempt, and Whalen rolled out of it and walks in for another Case touchdown.
Now for Whalen, that's his 3rd rushing touchdown to go with his 27 touchdown passes on the season. So Whalen has accounted for 30 touchdowns in 6.5 games for the Spartans.
Coffee in for the point after touchdown attempt. If he makes it, it will be 42-0 Case. Snap is back, hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Coffee's last point after touchdown was blocked. This one is not. And Case is on the scoreboard 42-0 with 50 seconds to play in this opening half. Coffee will kick it off, but he's going to need somebody to come in and hold it for him because that wind continues to blow strong on the field. Case 6-0 on the season, Hiram 0-6. On paper, Ed, this game's set up exactly to be what it has turned into.
And it was not necessarily a trap game where anyone really truly believed that Hyrum would have an opportunity to win this football game.
Matt Wilson returning it for the Terriers. Had a hard time handling the line drive kick from Coffee. Controls it, but he'll be brought down. They'll mark him at the 19. Forward progress at the 19, and that's where the Terriers will start their next offensive possession.
But a concern of the coaching staff was truly maybe seeing the team look past Hyrum and in the process not playing to their fullest extent. And they have 3 University Athletic Association games coming up, and that's always been a goal, is to win that conference. And you have a lesser opponent your week before you start conference play. That was a little bit of a concern, but the first half put all those to rest.
Austin with the football for Hyrum finally sees some daylight, and it was only about 2 yards of daylight, but nonetheless it was positive numbers because it hasn't always been exactly positive for that Hyrum running game this afternoon.
Well, you saw the defensive line string the play out, and Rich Doolin and Dale Inglis stretched the play to the sideline, and then coming up to close it out, Mike Pelyak and Bobby Bott. So Case pursuing very well defensively.
They're going to mark him for a 3-yard loss. I spoke too soon. It's 2nd and 13, and the clock winds down on this first half. Coach Devilak is going to get some headsets, giving him a microphone. And his team heads into the locker room at halftime. There you see the Spartans running into the locker room. Zachary Haas leading the way, number 8. And they are up 42-0 at halftime.